All right, welcome back to Twin Tower. I'm David.
And I'm Gary.
And Gary's we were just trying to get his, I was mentioning he's looking very orange today.
Yeah,
he's been trying to mess with his camera settings. And between him being outside swimming, the lights coming in through the side window, and his love for carrots, not spray tans, carrots.
Yes.
He's the more orange of us today.
Yes, I'm on the Oompa Loompa side of the family. Dave's more like Safeway chicken.
Anyways, so I posted up on my community page on Tarot by the Bay. The girls are fighting, and good Lord. Now, I think you and I probably both talked about this. I certainly did on my channel. I'm sure in our channel we did as well. That both Trump and Musk are narcissists. They're egotistical. They're very similar to each other. Musk is like Trump 2.0. They're different, but they're really similar in so many ways. And that the breakup with these two was inevitable and was likely going to be catastrophic.
Mm-hmm.
And that happened today.
and they didn't disappoint.
No, they did not disappoint. The flame war on Truth Social and X has been
chef's kiss.
God. I even created a Tarot by the Bay account on X just so I could actually see Elon's post, because you could get a post here, a post there, but you don't get the full thing unless you're on the channel.
Yeah.
Stuff that he's posted now. We record this about little after 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. He put out a poll about starting a new political party to represent the 80% of the middle, of which 81% of the people polled out of 3.5 million said yes. He posted that basically truth bomb. The reason why Trump hasn't released the Epstein files is because he's mentioned in them, and that's the real reason. And to mark that post, because it's going to come true, Trump tariffs will cause a recession in the second half of the year. Trump was threatening to cancel his government contracts. Trump said the easiest way to save money on the budget, billions and billions of dollars, to terminate Elon's government subsidies and contracts. I was always surprised Biden didn't do it. So Elon said, in light of that statement about cancellation of my contracts, SpaceX will begin decommissioning its Dragon spacecraft immediately, which I guess NASA is relying on to do stuff. Good Lord. Trump, basically, Trump was saying that Elon read the budget and he understood what was in it, and that Trump was always going to get rid of that EV tax credit, and that's why Elon's having a meltdown, because it's screwing his business over. And Elon said that's a lie. Nobody in Congress read the damn thing either. Elon said that Trump should be impeached and JD Vance should be made president. I mean, good Lord. Now, I was talking with Gary in light of the reading we did yesterday about the Rockland election case going forward, and that's really going to be the thing that opens the door to a bunch of other cases. This could all be distraction to get your mind. Don't pay attention to that story. There could be other stuff that's coming out, and they're really trying to control the narrative. And it would be performative. Let's just have a flame war for a few days, and that'll get people not talking about whatever it is they're trying to distract from. But the vileness of it, when he's calling for Trump to be impeached, saying that Trump's in the Epstein files, that's going to a new level.
Yeah.
It'd be one thing to say, Trump doesn't know what he's talking about. This is bad for the U.S. economy or whatever. You keep it kind of high with a poke, but this is personal.
Yeah. And I was telling David, it's like, if I was going to get a distraction, saying that I was in the Epstein files or Trump was in the Epstein files, that's not the distraction if I was Trump that I would want. That's kind of like, if the people are hunting you down and you want to create a diversion to get their attention away from you, you don't pick up the pebble and throw it directly at the person that you're trying to help save.
Good analogy. You throw it the other direction.
And, he picks up pebbles and throws it at the other guy. It's just like, now they're looking at the two guys. It's just like everyone's paying attention now. And frankly, since they both have the maturity of a second grader, I truly believe that Trump is always blustering and bluffing. There's a name that he has.
Trump boys chickens out.
Something like Taco, right? And Elon's not smart enough to realize that he's been supporting all this crap. No one's in love with Elon anymore.
No.
So
he's destroyed his reputation.
Oh yeah, and so they're both going to they're going to take each other down in flames just because they both have the maturity of a 7-year-old.
Yeah.
So I don't doubt a single thing that Elon is saying at this point.
It could be both, right? They could be trying to distract from something, but they're hitting each other with the hardest truths out there.
Oh yeah.
they could be absolutely telling the truth about each other, and they're trying to distract from something else. And God, that thing must be really bad if this is what they're going for, right? But I want to do. Why don't you do a general read on the relationship between Donald and Elon? I want to do a reading. Is this a real fight or is this just a distraction? Yeah. Okay. The question deserves to be asked and answered. Now, likely it's real and not a distraction, but you should at least ask the question to get the confirmation. Okay, I turn it over to you.
Entertainment purposes only.
And boy, are we entertained. Get the popcorn. I mean, they don't make enough popcorn for this fight.
Yeah. How's the bromance going? Well,
I don't think there's a card in the tarot deck for circling the toilet, but that might be the closest one to it.
It has its high points, it has its low points. It's a little emotional right now.
Mm-hmm.
Challenge is the Empress. They both they both want it all. They want their way, right? So
the Empress card's about taking care of things.
Yeah.
So Elon spent $300 million to take care of Trump, and Trump thinks he took care of Elon.
Well, I was reading an article that Elon's only written a check for $100 million so far of the $300 million he pledged. Only $100 million's been provided. But to me, the Empress is kind of like they both want what they think is best. Elon wants a balanced budget and attacking the deficit. Trump wants to stay in power and be able to get rid of immigrants and shore up some border issue that probably doesn't really exist. So they're both struggling to be the belle of the ball.
The other term that was coming to mind were bougie bitches. They're both bougie bitches.
Energy underneath it is the Ace of Pentacles. They both think they have the right idea, that they're the ones that provide all the value.
Yep.
In the past, you've got the Four of Cups. They're not happy with the actions that the other is taking.
Yeah.
That's really kind of the current, but it's been building to this.
Yeah.
Elon has been very critical of this big, beautiful budget bill. And Trump is getting fed up with Elon, and you could see some of it building, like when he didn't give Elon access to this quote unquote top secret Chinese briefing. That's what Steve Bannon was saying. That was the beginning of the end for Elon. Current energy is the Eight of Pentacles. They're busy at work attacking each other.
Doing what they do best, being trolls.
Yes, exactly. They're just hard at work, just trying to attack each other, going after trying to promote their values and discarding the other person's values. Overarching energy, which is a great card, the Judgment. It's time where people are going to have to take a side. The tech bros and MAGA, they need to pick a side at this point.
Well, that's funny because was it Steve Bannon? I think it was Steve Bannon that the comment that there's two factions. You've got the tech bro faction and the Trump faction. The Trump are the patriarchy, so like the Mike Johnson is in the Trump faction, and JD Vance would be in the tech bro faction because Peter Thiel is a tech bro. So you've got those two things. The other thing is Elon Musk is a cult leader. Trump is a cult leader. They merged their cults for a while, but during the divorce, they all know who they're going to be taking with them as they leave.
Yeah. The lesson to be learned is the Page of Cups.
Oh, God.
Once again, another great card. It's just the lunacy, the craze, the fish in the cup energy that's being exhibited. Like I said, they're like a couple of 7-year-olds. They're just throwing cups of fish at each other right now. 3-year-olds. I don't give 7 at all. Outcome is the Emperor. So the Emperor in this case is obviously Trump. Well, I guess it's not that obvious. The Emperor they're each an emperor. Like they've said, they're each a cult leader. And you cannot have two leaders. You cannot have two people in charge. If you remember when in the run up to the inauguration, Elon was all over the place with Trump. He was like Trump's shadow. It's like having two presidents. Elon, like Dave said, invested $270 million in this, and he had ideas on what he wanted to have done. And, he was trying to be like the shadow president. And, at the end of the day, there can only be one.
Yep.
So the Highlander right now is going to be Trump, and Elon is on his way out.
It's interesting that the challenge card was the Empress, where you have to provide, and the outcome is the Emperor. And this would probably be the low energy for both, where they're both just lazy prima donnas. And now they're lazy prima donnas who are going to be cold and heartless and ruthless with each other.
Yeah, because the Emperor is like a very non-emotional, but on the low energy, it would be very emotional.
That would normally be like a patron, a paternalistic mentor on his high energy, mentoring, having that divine masculine, helping people along, showing you that quiet inner strength. Yeah. This is toxic masculinity at its finest.
Absolutely.
Now, is this just performative? I'm sure they're hiding stuff, but is this performative to hide stuff, or is this legit? By the way, I got my new taco shirt.
That is an awesome shirt.
I'll be wearing this to the No Kings March. All right. Again, entertainment purposes only, and man, today is a popcorn day if there was ever a popcorn day. Let's look at Elon and Donald. Is this performative, or is there a performative truth and a lot going on here? Foundation of the reading is the Three of Pentacles. There is stuff that they're trying to hide. That doesn't mean it's not real, but there is stuff they're trying to hide. Or this could just show the breakup of the they had that conspiracy too, right? Elon sure knows those computers, those voting machines. He knows them better than anybody else. In that case, in Rockland counties going forward, crossed with the strength card. Keep your mouth shut. Things that were secret, keeping your mouth shut, but it's also who's the stronger of the two? Who's the strong man in this? Go on.
That's exactly what that Three of Pentacles is.
What's that?
That it's just they both have secrets. All the stuff that's been happening behind the scenes, all the backroom agreements that those two have been putting together.
And it could very well be that they're playing a game of chicken, playing a game of chicken with each other because they both have secrets on the other one, and who's going to get closest to revealing the big secrets? There's a choice here. I think this maybe is the collaboration and who was going to be in charge of the collaboration, and it's come to an end. They can't work together anymore. In the past, you got the Justice card. What is that all about? The injustice of it. Not quite sure what this is. It's not legal cases. There's maybe it's just they had the same idea of the country, or they were united in the past. They knew what they wanted to do and how to do it, but they have different approaches to it. Current situation is the Wheel of Fortune. Well, again, I'm asking: is this a court case? Is this hiding something? I think if they are hiding something, which the Three of Pentacles would indicate, it's hiding something, and you're trying to keep the lion's mouth shut because Trump just blabs everything, right? A decision that needs to be made, or a crossroads, and it was a violation of the law that's currently being unraveled. I think there is a separation here, and Elon's trying to take a different path. You notice how he's distancing himself from Trump.
Yeah.
And I think he's doing that on purpose because of legal cases that are unraveling or unfolding as we speak. And they're about to come out. So Wheel of Fortune in the World card is the progression and the finality. You have the same animals in the same spot, and this is in progress. This is the finality. Could also be world events too. Lesson to be learned: they never liked each other. They may do, politics makes for strange bedfellows, that sort of thing. And I've often said that Elon is Trump 2.0. He's kind of a more successful Donald Trump.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Just. The Emperor, toxic masculinity. There's this whole vibe. Look at and you got 1, 2, 3, 4 major arcana just in this. I do think that the fighting is real. I do think they're trying to cover something up. There is something bad that they're covering up. Or this could be that they're revealing the secrets, each other's secrets. I think that's probably more of what's going on. But those secrets also involve illegalities.
Sure.
So, Trump may come out one day and spill the beans about Elon's drug taking or something along those lines. Elon's already spilling the beans on Trump with Jeffrey Epstein and other things like that. So this is a tit for tat, tattletale fest. Is just gossip 101.
It's going to get better once Trump does a little rage tweeting tonight at about 2 a.m. on Truth Social. I'm sure there's going to be more coming out tomorrow. My goodness.
Well, Trump, he rage tweets about, was it 1:30 in the morning or 3 in the morning usually?
Yeah.
Yes, has to go up and go to the bathroom or something like that, and then tweets away. Yeah, so overnight there ought to be some doozy retaliatory tweets coming out.
Okay, so or whatever. What can we expect to see as a result of this toxic masculinity being thrown all over the place? What can we expect to come from this? Oh dear.
Exactly what you would expect it.
One card reading. Yeah, the devil. Hey, you guys change each other. You change yourselves to each other.
And they're also free to take those chains off. It looks like it's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, and Elon's the first one that, his assignment was coming to an end anyways, because if you go over like 130 days, the Senate has to basically review and approve your position. So he was going to be leaving Doge anyways. But it's like the corruption and the low energy, you both change yourself to it. And now Elon's trying to get himself away from it. So right now they're both still chained to the low energy, and they're acting like it because they're a couple of 7-year-olds. The challenge is the Three of Cups. They used to. There could go a couple different ways. But I think what we're going to see is celebrations. Now, who's celebrating here? Is it the Democrats that when your enemies are fighting each other, let them fight?
Yep.
There's no need to stop them. It's celebrate. Everything's coming to light. So let's keep going because that's kind of the feeling I got. Is that
the vibe I'm getting is that it's Team Trump versus Team Musk, and now the troll fest begins, and their followers will absolutely celebrate them because they're both cults.
Yeah, exactly. Because this turned out to be Republicans celebrating an election victory when we thought it was the Democrats celebrating election victory, and this is probably, like Dave said, cult members celebrating their cult leader making 7-year-old comments. The comments of a juvenile 7-year-old to the other.
I'm really hoping that something is released about Trump's ear. That remarkable ear that got shot off and regrew, and I'd love for that little tea to get spilled.
Oh, I already solved that. Lee press-on ears. Remember they had this Lee press-on nails back in the 70s? It's a Lee press-on ear. Energy underneath it is the 9 of Cups. Hopes, wishes, dreams fulfilled. It's once again, you got the smug merchant. So the American oligarchs. It's really hard to say what. I can't imagine the American oligarchs, quote unquote, winning on this. There's no money to be made with Trump's tariffs.
Yep.
I guess if they get their tax breaks in the budget, that would make them happy. It could just be they're both really smug. Trump and Elon just thinking that they're winning.
Yeah, but I've always associated that card with Musk, so I think Musk is the nastier troll.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Trump's got so much stuff that Elon can troll on him. Trump's got stuff on Elon, but not like Elon can hit Trump with.
Yeah. So, and I tend to agree because Trump he's a one-trick pony. He says something stupid that is an obvious lie, and Elon's got enough insider knowledge where he can start turning over cards that Trump doesn't want turned over.
Exactly.
In the past, you got Dave's strength card, keeping your mouth shut, don't let the secrets out, but that's in the past.
Yep.
Queen of Cups, trying to keep your emotions in check. Personally, I'm going to reverse that because I just don't see either one of them keeping their emotions in check. They're just going to blab everything. And
that's literally the spilling the tea card. Yeah. It's when you turn it upside down.
The overarching energy is the Hierophant. So the Hierophant is about, large institutions. Mm-hmm. Elon is the richest man in the United States, I believe. And Trump is the president. So they're both kind of leading their cults from their little platforms there. I don't see them coming back together. Lesson to be learned is the 4 of Wands. Yeah, our days of celebrating together, those are gone.
Yeah, that marriage is over, huh?
Yeah. And what can we expect at the end result? Some new information is going to start being presented. We're going to learn a bunch of new things from this.
Who's got the biggest cojones? Cojones. There's only one there.
Single. There's only one.
Yeah, I think there's going to be bigger and bigger revelations coming through. I mean, a troll knows you don't lead off with your best stuff.
Oh no, clearly.
You hit them hard, but you keep some stuff in reserve because it's like, oh, I can't believe you went there. It's like, yeah, but these other 3 things I'm sitting on, right?
Yeah, don't throw the haymaker as the first punch.
Yeah, because then you got nothing. Everything else that follows up with it is underwhelming.
Yeah, exactly.
Build up. But that being said, there are some haymakers being thrown in there. Holy crap!
To your point, if those aren't the haymakers, holy Christ, what are they holding back on?
All right. Okay. What's going to be the impact on the political right? All these Trumpers, all these MAGA folks were singing Elon's praises. Hey, kitten. And now he's persona non grata and the worst thing ever. He's as bad as all the libtards, watching the MAGA folks twist themselves into another pretzel. I'm just, what's Spirit, if you just like a little four-carter, what can we expect coming out of their camps, or give us some additional insight as to what's going on here? All right, sorry, I denied people their kittydoms. Here, let me do that. Let me give you your cat fix here.
Exactly. She's not looking at the camera though.
She's very shy.
She's not.
All right. Secrets are being revealed. Lunacy and secrets. We got money. Reveal. Oh God, the Hermit card and the Moon card. This is amazing. All right. And the World card. Holy crap! This is amazing. Secrets are being revealed. They could be secrets from around the world. This is definitely bringing an end to their relationship. But it's almost like we've hit peak. It's like we've hit peak craziness, and now we're in the end game of peak craziness. There's information to be revealed about money, changing values. They're delivering the goods on each other. I do think, again, to me, Trump spilled the beans on Elon, saying, Elon knows all about these computers, these voting machines. Nobody knows better than him. Elon's got to do what he can to protect himself. Now, Elon's wealthy, and when you're wealthy, you are very well protected. But don't be surprised if Elon's not the one that drops a dime on Trump and tells people where to go looking for the secrets.
Yep.
If Elon knows about a server or, some software that got it, I don't know how this software got onto Starlink, and look at that, it's changing votes. Who knew?
So your original question was, how is the Republican Party going to look afterwards on that?
Yeah, I think with the Republican Party, if we take those same cards and look at the Republican Party, they're going to look. They're looking where the money is. Who's got the money? Who's going to be delivering the money? Elon delivers money.
Yeah.
Trump holds on to the money. You remember when he took over the Republican National Committee and basically took all their money and dumped it into his reelection account. Mm-hmm. He took all the small donors away from the Republican Party, and that was his PAC, and he controlled all the money on that. It was basically starving out the Republican candidates, and they had to kiss his butt, and he gave them like $5,000. And Elon comes in with a couple $100 million to fund all these candidates. I think the Republican Party's probably going to, and Trump he's a lame duck president at this point. He has no political future. It would make sense that they would abandon Trump at some point and align themselves with Elon, because all the tech bros have the money too. That's where the money is, and you need money to be reelected. That's where logical David goes, and the cards would seem to indicate that is a logical choice to make.
Indeed.
Nico apparently doesn't want to be outdone. As we have the Halloween cats showing up here.
That's right.
He just came skulking into the room. I think he's looking for food.
Let's wrap this thing up then, unless you got some more you want to look at.
No, there we go.
There it is.
The void has arrived.
Well, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like these videos, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe. We put out a new video every night at midnight. Hit the bell and we'll wake you up. I guarantee. We'll be asleep, but you'll be awake.
That's right.
Leave a comment. I read them all. Respond to many. And please remember, this is for entertainment purposes only.
Yes.
And unlike those bargain basement twin tarot with Gary and David channels that don't show you cats.
We show you all the cats all the time. Here we go.
There he is. It's just, you got this black void with two green eyes staring back at you.
They're more yellow than green.
But yes, we give shout outs not only to our cats, but to our viewers.
You're going to have to do the cards because I'm playing with the cat.
That's fine. So I'd like to give a shout out to Tennessee Chin yet again. We got another kind contribution from Tennessee Chin. So
she's going to get all the shout outs.
We're going to give you the 5 of Swords. Keep up the good fight. And then Frawwall 13 gave us also a kind contribution. And another Swords. We got the 7 of Swords. Don't worry, we're not going to make off with it. we will spend it wisely, mostly on beer, I hope. And that's all I've got for my shout outs. Let's see. I'll give a shout out to someone who's left a comment recently. How's that?
Okay. I need you to be quiet for just a second. Okay, you can carry on.
Okay, very good.
let the purrs be heard.
Let's see. Who shall we give it to? Oh, how about the Winter Wren, who's fairly recent to the comment section, but I definitely recognize their thumbnail, which is a rainbow flag with a black cat with yellowish green eyes. So Winter Wren, your card is going to be the 7 of Pentacles. Yay, we got lots of things of value, everything coming forward. Oh, what a cute little guy.
Oh, he's just a big guy. He's just a little baby.
He's a little baby. Does he like that?
Not really.
Okay, and then a card for the rest of us. We're going to get the Page of Swords today. It's all about new ideas, being able to take on all comers. You know, we got that youthful energy. But right now, we don't need to swing the sword. Let them fight with each other.
Yep. Tear each other apart. Y'all deserve it.
Yeah, no kidding. So thank you so much for watching, folks. Take care.
Take care, everyone. Bye-bye. I don't want this one to end. It's so good.
I know we're having a lot of fun, aren't we?